Awesome. So what I want you to do, and it's good to have a block if you need it, take the feet wide and you're gonna drop down into a squat at the back of the mat. Now, if this doesn't feel great for your knees, let me know. It definitely doesn't. So what I want you to do is sit on, you have 2 blocks, take them up, stack them up like you're a little kid again, and sit on them, because then you'll get out of the joint and you'll work more just on your spine. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So what you'll use is your outer part of your tricep to kind of anchor and hunker in here, and then you'll press open. Now, if your feet, so Erica, your heels are lifted, go even wider with your feet. And then if you want to slide a block under, you can. Now, Lauren, you're rolling into the inner arches, which is quite normal. So think about the outer part of your foot and press the outer blade of your foot back. And then when I speak about lengthening your tailbone in a practice, it's different than Pilates, because in Pilates, they do a lot of tucking. Yoga, we like to lengthen, which is a really hard concept to understand. This is the sensation, lengthening your tailbone down. So if you can, close your eyes. Not all of us can, and that's okay. And allow yourself just to drop in and breathe. The goal is to sit up as straight as possible. So I'm going to give you another one. And the practice designed so many moons ago to allow you just to be present and to feel, which is hard for a lot of us to feel. We don't want to feel anything. We just want to go. Connect to your breath if possible. That's Ujjayi breathing. Inhale through your nose through the back of your throat. Exhale through your nose through the back of the throat. See if you can begin to get the round out of your shoulders. Keep your neck nice and neutral, which means that your chin is not jutting forward. It's not tucking in. And there's plenty of imperfections in pretty much everything we do, so just embrace it. Just going to keep our body aligned, healthy, and safe. Couple more cycles of breath. Blink the eyes open. So you're going to start to come up as what I call a bear squat. So the feet have to turn in, and they're definitely pretty wide. And the arms are going to rest. The back of the arms rest on the tops of the thighs. Don't be afraid to stick your butt all the way back. It's just the woods behind you. Yeah. And then I bring my hands to a little prayer. Perfect. And there's a little arch in my upper back because that's the nature of our spine. You draw the belly in and then just hold. Now, the weight is in your heels, if you can. Yeah, not all the way back that you're going to topple over. So you're going to find that center of gravity. Soften your shoulders, keep your neck nice and neutral, and just feel this. So everything you do is just step by step, trying to just be in that moment. So keep the weight where it is, keep the legs the way that it is. And if you can, start to slide your arms up. I'm going to interlace my hands and flip the palms. And you'll notice the tightness in the shoulders. So you just do what you can. Draw the sides of the waist up. Your gaze is forward a little. If you're looking down, just look forward a little. Feel the weight in your heels and very, very slowly, slow motion, start to press, 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 press all the way up. Press through the insteps of the palms. Slide them straight up, anchor the feet. Breathe your chest, the spine, kind of wiggle it up a little. Keep the neck nice and neutral. You're going to inhale the breath, stretch up to the insteps of the palms. Take it to the right like an inch or two. Yeah. But feel the side of your waist stay long. So there's no dumping, there's no collapsing, they're not large movements. Your neck is neutral. You can breathe. Wiggle up to center. Reach a little higher and then drop it over to the left like an inch or two. And just feel the sides of your waist kind of lengthen. Your hip points are forward, your shoulder points are forward. Feel your feet on the floor, contract your quadriceps, your thighs. Wiggle up to center, grow a little higher. Separate your hands to the shoulder width distance. Good. Drag your hands to a prayer at heart and forward folds. Now, as you bend your legs and you fold, take your hands directly to the floor. You're going to have to bend your knees if you're tight. Keep your feet anchored and start to walk out to your first dog. Now, as you get about halfway, you'll notice for a lot of us, our heels start to pop up. which is totally normal. And then just walk your feet in a little closer to one another so they're about hips width distance. And find your dog, your down dog, your first one most likely. Bend behind your knees, everybody, a little bit. Yes, so when you bend behind your knees, that's gonna help you lift your hips up off your shoulders, which is what we want. The yoga practice, a healthy yoga practice, is to keep us out of our joints and begin to just really fire up the muscles. Spread all 10 toes wide, even with your knees a little bent. Plug down your thumb, your index finger, your baby finger. Use your hands, spread them wide. And then the movement of your shoulders actually is away from your ears. Yes, perfect. Nice, Ashley. That's an awesome adjustment. And then some of us need to keep our knees bent the entire time. Others of us can begin to straighten out the legs a little. And when you do that, the center of the heel starts to melt towards the ground. And don't have any pressure that you have to get your heels to touch. It's just going to be, everyone's bodies are a little different. So you're setting yourself up for success, a successful practice for yourself. And that's going to look very different from everybody else. It's very individualized. Hold, connect to your breath. Fix your eyes on something that's not moving. These look lovely. Quiet your mind by using more breath and just allow your body to feel. Now, this dog pose, this down dog, from here, you're gonna roll forward to your first plank. From dog to first plank, sometimes you have to walk it out just a tad bit more, and that's totally normal and fine. So if you do need to do that, set it up so your shoulders, your elbows, and your wrist are all stacked. Now, just be real mindful. So look at your elbows, that you're not hyperextending. I don't naturally hyperextend, so it's easy for me to just say don't hyperextend, but some of us are more mobile, so you're hyperextend. Little micro bend. The center of your elbow is facing forward. The inner crease of your elbow is facing forward. There you go. So a little micro bend reach. Yeah, some of you probably don't even know if you micro bend. Lauren, some of you don't even know if you hyperextend, is what I'm trying to say. Lauren, straighten your arms. You don't hyperextend. Hold. The pit of the belly draws in and up. Your neck is neutral. So you want to take the round out of the upper shoulders and spine. You're feeling the ground, it's holding you up. If this is too much or just annoying, you drop your knees and you support the pose. It's just as challenging to support plank with the knees down. Broaden across the upper shoulders, keep the neck neutral. Your drishti, your focus, one spot in the front edge of the mat. Hold. Inhale your breath. Bring more weight forward onto your tippy toes. Exhale your breath. Draw the pit of the belly in and up. Zip up the sides of your body. Scissor the outer ankles in. Hold. Inhale, you're still holding. Exhale, maintaining. Take another giant breath in. Arms straight, legs straight, hips up and back to a down dog. So now you've kind of found your place. Roll forward again to a plank. Yeah. You're in plank. Everybody drop their knees down. So the knees are a little bit back. They're a little behind you. Yes. Lift the legs up, cross the ankles for me. So you're going to do a couple push-ups just like this. Draw the waist up. So lift your heels towards your butt. Yeah, and bring your weight, Erica, forward a little bit. Perfect. Now bend your elbows in half to a supported chaturanga. Less is more. Don't go so deep. Re-straighten your arms to a supported plank. Draw the waist up. Fix your eyes. Do it again. Bend your elbows. The slower you move, the more you'll feel. Re-straighten your arms. Again, bend your elbows, supported push-up. Nice, Jody. Re-straighten your arms, supported plank. Keep going, bend your elbows, supported push-up. Straighten your arms, supported plank. One more, I'll be nice. Bend your elbows, supported plank. Uncurl your toes. Activate your legs, plank position. Keep your arms straight and your legs straight, hips up and back, downward facing dog. So you can take them all like that. You can alternate. There's no one way. Roll forward one more time, plank position. I wish it was forever, but it's not. Bend your elbows in half to your version of a chaturanga. So if you're going to go to a push-up, don't go too low. You want your shoulders in line with your elbows. Yes. You can also just hold plank. Re-straighten your arms, plank position. Fix your eyes, do it slower. Bend your elbows to a push-up, chaturanga, pause. More weight forward, Erica. There you go. Now lead with your chest for your first up dog. I got you. Activate your legs, press to the tops of the feet. If this doesn't feel great, baby cobra is available. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. So when you take that up dog, you want to make sure not to jam into your lower back. So use the strength of your legs, press real strong through the tops of your feet, and that's where you're going to get that support. Look to the top of the mat. Take 2 big steps to get there this morning. Yeah, or 10 if you feel tight. Long spine. It's not always so graceful. Weight can also be, your hands can also be on your shins, guys, if you can't reach the floor. Exhale, fold in half, let your head go. Do that again. Inhale, long spine. Either the fingertips line up with your toes or your hands are on your shins. You pick. Exhale, fold in half. Root to rise, come all the way up. Don't you feel great? Drag your hands to prayer. At heart, drop your arms. It's all the mindset. All the mindset. Here we go. Arms sweep up. Dive over bent knees. Always bend your knees as you forward fold. It's the gateway to the lower back. Long spine to prepare you. Hands can be on your shins too. Plant your palms. 2 big steps to get you back to a plank. Bend your elbows in half to your version of a chaturanga. Listen, you can skip these 2 and just hold plank. Drag yourself through an up dog. Press firm through your arms. Broaden across the collarbone and the chest. Press to the tops of the feet. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. So slowing yourself down, that's hard for the majority of us, I'm aware. Look to the top of the mat, 2 big steps. Yeah. Long spine once you arrive, weight is forward. Exhale, fold into yourself. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer at heart, drop your arms. So you can practice with your feet a little separated. It could feel better for the lower back or together. You decide. Arms reach up. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your weight carry you forward. Long spine to prepare you. Plant your palms. 2 big steps gets you back to a plank. I know some of us are excited, maybe had extra coffee, but just step. Yeah. Lower halfway chaturanga. Elbows are close to you. Drag yourself through a deliberate up dog. These look good. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. Now you can hop, I know. Long spine, weight forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Again, arms reach up. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold. Let the head go. Long spine prepares you. Shoulders slide down the back. Plant your palms. You can step, you can float to a push-up, but never jump to a plank position. Upward facing. Hips up and back, downward facing. Did you hear this version? It's got the brass band in the back. It's pretty awesome. Anchor your arms and your hands. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. Get there light and safe. Long spine weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Arms reach up. Anchor. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let the head go. Come to the fingertips. Prepare. Plant your palms. Step or float to your chaturanga. Yeah, upward facing, anchor the tops of the feet, the legs, the knees are lifted, ideally. Hips up and back, downward facing. Roll forward to plank position. Good. Lengthen your tailbone, Jody. There you go. Hug your right knee towards your navel. Now, if this doesn't feel great in any part of your body, you can lift your hips up a little higher. Just keep your arms straight up and down. Point your right toes. Scoop the belly button to the back of the spine. Feel your outer triceps grip in. Look forward with your eyes. There you go. Glide your right foot all the way forward and through into a low lunge. Yeah. How does this feel? Happy Wednesday. Drop the back knee down for a second. I know it's sometimes the littler movements that you're like, oh God, this feels awful. Slide your arms up towards the sky. Now, if you feel like your kneecap is digging into the floor, make sure the knee is back enough that it's on an angle. You can always pad underneath the knee too. Yes. So once you get up here, interlace your hands like we did before. Slide the arms up. Okay, so what happens here is the biceps can get a little jammed up behind your ears or a little forward. Everyone's gonna be a little different. Keep the neck neutral. Get a little heavier in your front leg. Feel the right foot press firm. The right thigh bone slide back. And the angle of that back left thigh is your psoas, and that's what's starting to open. Do me a favor, curl the back left toes into the mat. Yeah, try that. Perfect, because that's gonna access your hamstring a little more. Wiggle up a little bit more with your arms. Yes. Bring your chest more forward. Fix your eyes on something that's not moving. Be still. Split the hands apart like you're holding a block. Yeah. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Integrate your back knee. Yeah, so the back knee is gonna now lift up. Grip your right hip in strong and activate your back leg. Now you're gonna come up again, crescent lunge. So you're just growing the poses. If you get here and you're like, the balance feels off, I feel like I can't support myself, it feels messy, you always drop your back knee down as an option, okay? You never wanna feel messy in your yoga practice. Interlace the hands again. Yes, so just going with this concept. Wiggle up a little. So when I say that, I mean wiggle your upper torso from your hip points up through the fingertips. You're gonna create this space, but the concept, the lower half, the body stays super low. Yeah, so you're creating that box with the front leg and actively engaging your back left leg. Yeah. Split the hands apart again. Slide them to prayer at heart. Lean forward enough that you can tense your left fingertips. A block is great here. You can take it any dimension that works for you, low, medium, high. Yep. Right arm can extend up. You're going into an easy twist. If having your right arm up towards the sky takes you into your low back, have your right hand on the flat part of your spine. That's your sacrum. And that's going to give you a lot of information about your body. Make sure that that stays even. Right. So Rach, take your block closer towards your right foot. Yeah. Perfect. And then the focus here is your right hip. You want to grip it in. And the back left leg is very engaged like plank. Nice work. Now, as you spiral that top arm up or even your chest open, look straight up rather than looking back. When we look back, we have a tendency to round. Two more breaths. Not what you want to hear, I know. Look down, place both hands to frame your front foot. Step to a plank. Yeah, so when you get to plank, you have a choice. You could just stay here and hold, or you can go to a push-up and hold. Draw the waist up, and then re-straighten your arms plank. If you're already there, you picked wisely. Hug your left knee in towards your navel. Scoop out your belly, your arms are straight up and down. And if you need to cut yourself a little slack this morning, the hips can just lift up slightly higher, and that's gonna make it a little easier for you to move and hold. Point your left toes. Look forward a little, and then glide your left foot all the way forward and through. Make sure it's a big step. Yeah. Be on your fingertips, and then go ahead and drop the back knee, but make sure it's on an angle so you're not jamming your kneecap. So lift the knee and then slide the kneecap back more. Good. Bring your arms up. Good. So tentatively, this is back bend. This is a version of a back bend because you're opening up your hip points. Your whole chest is open. Interlace your hands. If you could remember your grip, good luck. Flip, I can never remember my grip. It's whatever feels less comfortable. Press to the insteps of the hands. And wiggle from your hip points up without feeling like you're jutting your chin or your neck forward. Feel the left foot press down. Feel the left thigh slide back into the hip socket. You can even play with closing your eyes at moments where you're still like this. Split the hands apart like you're holding something in between the hands. So the arms stay active and engaged. The hands come down to frame your front foot. Come to your fingertips, engage the back knee. The kneecap's gonna lift from the ground, ideally. Scissor the inner and outer thighs in. Grip your left hip in. So there's a tendency to wanna wing out. Engage the back leg. And then once you feel like you've got your balance, you start to come up crescent lunge. If you get here and it feels sloppy, drop your knee, take yourself out. So you want to move our hip points forward. Sometimes that requires bending your knee a little to give yourself that space to like move the hip points forward. Interlace the hands one more time. Flip the insteps of the palms up. These look good. Front leg is bent in half. Back leg is supporting, strong and engaged. Neck is neutral. Some of you look very sad. Yeah. Sad yoga practices are not good. I can imagine what I look like sometimes in my practice. Yeah. It's not about how you look, it's about how you feel. Hands separate now. Stretch up. Hands come down to frame your front foot. You're like, yes, thank you. Plank position. Chaturanga or hold plank, you pick. Drag yourself to an up dog if you're taking. You can skip all these things. Downward facing dog, you can take 10 push-ups. I don't really care. Breathe. Look to the top of the mat, step or float your feet there. Long spine, feet can have a little separation if that feels better. Exhale, fold. Sit into chair, weight moves into your heels. Our least favorite posture with the most resistance. Oh, I'll remember it again at some point. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Come to the fingertips to prepare. Guide your right leg back, take a big step. Tense your right fingertips and peel your left arm open. Thanks to my mom, she reminded me. Switch the hand, Erica, switch the legs. So it's the left leg forward. There you go. Grip the hips in strong. Perfect. Watch that the left hip doesn't wing out. Actively engage the back right quadricep muscles. And if cranking that arm up towards the sky feels icky, have your hand on the flat part of your spine. That's a fine place to be. Look down, place both hands to the floor. Spring your right foot forward to meet your left at the top of the mat. Walk the feet together if that's comfortable. Long spine on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Sit again into a chair. Weight moves into your heels. Stick your butt all the way back, and from your elbows to your fingertips, straighten your arms. Yeah, and then look forward with your eyes. Feel the strength in your legs. Press up to stand up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Here we go from the top. Chair pose, sit deep. It's a lot easier from the top of the mat to drop down. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Come to the fingertips to prepare. Step or float through your vinyasa. You pick how it feels. Up dog, deliberate though. New breath. Hips up and back, downward facing. Land your right foot forward. Turn your back foot strong. Stay low for a second. So your back foot's going to go to about a 70-degree angle. It's almost completely pivoted forward. And your right hip has a tendency to want to pop out, to hug it under. Anchor your feet and your legs and then come up for your first warrior one. Yeah. In warrior one, you're about hips width distance. So take a little bit of a wider position with your feet. So your back foot's on an angle like this. Perfect. And then the whole left side of your body can begin to turn towards the front edge of the mat. So if it feels available to you, interlace your hands again and wiggle your upper body up and take your left ribs and pivot them more towards the front edge of the mat. There you go. Take it to the floor to a plank, move through a vinyasa. So actually just do the other leg because you did the wrong leg. It's okay. Up dog. Downward facing dog. So step whatever leg forward that you didn't yet. Most of you left. Come on up. Get yourself set up here. Yeah. So it's like the first one on the first side. You kind of have to remind yourself that you want to grip your hip in and your whole torso is facing forward. And then if it's available to you, interlace your hands, just because the growth of the upper body is really important, but the lower half of the body is really supporting the pose. The right ribs move forward. But it's a good playlist. Yeah. Take it to the floor to a vinyasa. Upward facing point. Hips up and back, downward facing. Okay. Exhale all the breath out. Here we go. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Sit into strong chair. I called strong chair rather than weak chair. Pain in the ass chair pose. Whoever came up with Sun Bees, it was a pain in the ass. Press up to stand up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Here we go. Arms reach up. Sit again from the top chair. Sit deep. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Long spine prepares you. Step or float through your vinyasa. You don't have to hop. You can just step two. Up dog is really grounding and opening. Nice. Hips up and back, downward facing. Right foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one. For some reason, you have an aversion to warrior one. You could always say crescent lunge. Bring it back down to the floor, plank position. So sometimes warrior one just doesn't feel great. You need to take the crescent. Up dog, hips up and back, down dog. You're looking good. Left foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one, come on up. So you're just using your body, your breath, not thinking. Hands come down to a plank. Move through a vinyasa that works for you. So that could be adding 3 push-ups. It could be admitting them. Up dog, hips up and back, down dog. Listen, I went through a 6-month period recently where I did no push-ups. So I came out okay. Yeah, you could do 10 push-ups. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. Let's keep it moving. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Sit into chair, weight moves into your heels. They get easier each time. Soften your neck and your shoulders. You could do them with cactus arms. Yeah, why not? Press up to stand up. Drag it to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Here we go. One more for shits and giggles. Arms reach up. Sit deep chair. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Long spine sets you up. Step or float through your vinyasa. Make it feel good. Up dog pulls you through. Hips up and back, downward facing. Keep it moving. Right foot forward, back foot turns. It's a little quicker, but it's not sloppy. Hands come down, plank. To a chaturanga. Pull yourself through an up dog. Press through the tops of the feet if you can. Hips up and back, down dog. Left foot forward, back foot turns, warrior one. You're all right. Hands back down, plank position. To a chaturanga. Upward facing, point your toes. Hips up and back, downward facing. Look where you want to go, step or float to the top. Long spine, keep the weight forward. Exhale, fold. Sit into chair, weight moves into your heels. Yeah, so if you feel like there's more success with your feet a little separated, definitely do that. Slide the hands to prayer. Inhale the breath, hook the elbow, take it to the right. So if lower back or upper shoulders are an issue, recommendation is to just do a kind of an air twist. Watch that the left knee doesn't slide past the right. So your left hip has to move back. So left hip back for majority of you. Yep. Weights in your heels. So this hip. There you go. Yeah. Spine is long. Perfect. Are you breathing or are you just waiting for me to say it's over? Yeah, no, I know. I've been doing yoga for a long time. The shit I come up with in my head. Yeah. Keep bending into the legs. Yeah. Chair pose, pull around. So when you get to this chair, sit deeper because you can. Lift your chest, breathe into the upper shoulder blades. There you go. Press up to stand up, drag it to prayer at heart, drop your arms, get it out of the way. Arms reach up, strong. Sit again into chair. Slide the hands to prayer, inhale the breath. You can hook the elbow and twist. You can air twist. You can stay up a little higher. What's important is to keep your feet, your shins, and your knees all lined up, and that your right hip doesn't slide past your left. Your spine is long. There's no movement where you're turning your spine. The only thing that's turning are your ribs. That looks good, Erica. Keep the weight in your heels. Keep sticking your butt back. Keep the breath moving through your body. Weight stays in the heels, shins move back. Chair pose, stay strong in your legs. So keep bending deep, 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 deep to really see if you can sit low. So more of an Ashtangi jump back. The legs are bent, the hands go flat like this. And then from here, you draw your belly in, you step or you float to a chaturanga. That's more of an Ashtanga jump back. Upward facing pulls you through, hips up and back, downward facing. And this down dog, lift your right leg up on an inhale breath, but only lift at hip height. So no flinging body parts here. Nice, even. Yes, flex your right toe strong. Your shoulders are even towards the front edge of the mat. You're gripping your left hip in strong and you're flexing your right toes like if there was a wall behind you, you'd be leaving a footprint. Your waist is drawing in, your obliques are working. Now point your right toes. Yep. And come forward to plank. Your right foot's gonna hover the mat, point the toes. Yeah. Take your right knee just to the general direction of your right tricep. It doesn't have to touch because you want to keep your hips aligned. And then keeping your body in the same shape, cross over to the left just a little and then straighten out your leg. This is called fallen triangle. So the right hand goes down, the left arm goes up. If you need a modification, your legs are kind of split apart. Yes, right knee can just come down. You can take a modified side plank. So Erica, make sure that your right hand, tent it like this. Yeah, and then turn your body towards the table and slide the arm up and then lift your left leg up if you want, guys. There you go. Not if you're in fallen triangle. Perfect. Breathe your chest open. Nice. Come back around to a plank, hugging your right knee straight in. Step your right foot smack in between your hands, pause. Turn the back foot on a strong angle. Grab somewhere on your right shin, straighten your right leg and open your hips to the right so you're in a triangle pose. Grip your right hip in strong. It's almost like you're moving the pant legging. So we want to use our obliques and feel like you're leaning back just a tiny bit. Lean back just a tiny bit, perfect. Your left hand can always slide to your hip if having your left arm up complicates things. A little micro bend behind your right knee for some of us. Feel your feet press down into the mat. Perfect. Yeah, you guys look good. You want to use the strength of your legs, inner and outer thighs, inner and outer arches of the feet. Look down, okay? Left hand, bring it to your hip. You know where we're going. Use your block, place it on the highest setting for most of you. The block goes off to the right and forward about 8 inches, roughly, unless you're really tall. Yeah. Left hand on your hip, and then you begin to open your hip. Same direction as the triangle. Left arm extends up if you have that balance. So the trick with the transitions is to move slow. It's like its own pose. So if you transition easily into the posture is so much more accessible to the majority of us. Flex your left toes if you can. And if you have the balance and the openness of the chest, the left arm extends up. If you're dying to go into a bind, you can reach behind you, grab your left foot for Chopasana. So the kick is behind you, not up towards the sky. So envision your foot going behind your butt, like a dancer, like one of those dance moves from the Nutcracker. If you're reaching for your foot and it's like, I don't know where it is, just be in the regular pose. Not worth it. Not today. Maybe get a little lighter in your bottom hand. Stay with it. Regular half moon. If you added anything in, just find your way back to a regular half moon. Look down, transition slow. It may take a couple steps. Take a giant step back into warrior 2. Go into warrior 2. So when you get to this warrior 2, we're yet to be here. You've got open hips. Your body is facing towards the pool. Yep, we're out towards the woods. My mom's out towards the woods. And then spread your arms nice and open. And we want to make sure we got a pretty big step. So big enough that our right knee tracks directly over the right ankle. Your inner right thigh rolls open. And like we started in the squat, the tailbone drops. And you're not suffering too much, only mental suffering holding this pose. Yes. Breathe your left shoulder blade open. Yeah, there you go. And give as much love to your right arm as your left. Close your eyes, 5 breaths. The awareness of body, breath, hold the pose. Externally rotate your right thigh open so the knee is not turning in. There you go. Open your eyes, look forward towards your right hand. You're gonna slide your right hand to the instep of your foot. We're gonna go for a B variation today. Take the block, place it to the instep of the foot. Most of us need it. Then use the back of the tricep to press against the inner leg. That gives you the hip opener. And then the left arm spreads open. We've done a bunch of shoulder stuff here. So you can go ahead and slide your left arm behind your back if you wanna go into a half bind. If that does not work out for you today, just have your hand on your hip and breathe your left shoulder open. You got it, Rach. Perfect. So we never want to force our bodies into poses. We're going to go with what works for a particular day, which is today. Now, grip your right hip under you. Yes. And what I mean by that is your right hip has to tuck under and slide back. So as the nature to hip pop open. Yep. And then turn your right ribs towards the sky and breathe your chest open. Get heavier in your legs. Unravel your left arm, look up. Use the strength of your left arm and your left leg to pull back up, warrior 2. Never gets old. Look forward, circle it to the floor, through a vinyasa, or right to a dog, depending on how you feel today. The up dog is smooth, it's not jammy. Downward facing dog. When you get to your down dog, just breathe your left leg up, only hip height. Yeah. So easy to just kind of like fly around the mat and lose awareness. So slow movements, you could feel what's happening. Shoulders are pivoted forward towards the front edge of the mat. You're breathing your inner thigh up, flex the foot. There you go. Okay, point your left toes now. Come forward to plank. The foot's gonna skim the mat. It's brief, I promise. Take the left knee towards the left tricep, just in the general direction. Mine doesn't even get that close. I just go in that general direction. Keep looking forward. Take the left knee across the body towards the right tricep. Now, you're gonna lean onto your left arm. You're gonna extend your left leg. It's gonna be out, so the legs, so Laura, try and bring the leg more up towards me. Yeah, there you go. And then your right foot goes like into warrior 2, and then your right arm goes up. You can modify. If you modified with the knee down, that's perfect. Awesome work. You can always drop down to your knee and take a supported side plank. There's nothing wrong with that. Breathe your chest open. There you go. Look down, find plank with dragging your left knee in towards the navel. Yeah, and then look forward and land your left foot smack in between your hands. Just pause for a second. Keep your left foot moving forward. Turn your back foot on a strong angle and grab somewhere on the front of your left shin so you can come this way into triangle. Yeah. I like going into triangle this way because it feels really good on your back for most of us. Yeah, grip the left hip in and use the side obliques to keep you supported so you're not dumping down. Look up if you can, or just look sideways. Sometimes our neck feels funny. Now, look to the floor, keep your left hip and your left foot facing forward. You'll reach for a block. So take a second to get the block set up. It's a little off to the left. Yeah, and a little forward. And then you'll slide up into half moon. Your right hand can always be on your hip. And if you fall from the pose, don't beat yourself up. Some days our balance is just a little off. Grip the left hip in strong. Make sure your left foot stays forward. flex your right toes. If you're dying for that bind, then reach behind you and grab your foot. One side's always better than the other. If you can't find your foot, it was a good attempt. It's somewhere. You let it go and just be where you are. Nice work. Maybe get a little lighter in your bottom hand so all the weight isn't dumping into the shoulder. Perfect. And then the side ribs can turn a little and you can gaze a little up. Let go of any embellishments, anything that you added into the pose. Be in its basic form. Look down and take a couple steps or breaths to get you back to warrior two. So you take a big step. Sometimes the feet are all over the place. It's normal. You got to just align. Make sure the right toes are on a strong angle. Get heavy in the front thigh and breathe your chest open. So everyone's looking forward. There you go. Use more of your right arm. Reach back towards the trees. Yeah. And then close your eyes 5 breaths. And turn your frown upside down. There you go. Not so bad. Strong. Looks great. It's temporary. Blink your eyes open. Start to reach your left hand down to the instep of your foot. I highly recommend the use of a block. Most of us are tight in our upper shoulders. Yeah, you can place it any direction that works. Gather that left hip in and under, and then use the back of your left tricep to anchor to the inside of the left leg. Right arm reaches up, and then you can go right for your hand to your hip to start. Gather the right shoulder back, and then if you'd like to move on, slide it behind you and see if you can grab to the inner crease of your left thigh. Now the movement is the rotation of the chest and the throat open so you could look up. The left hip wants to jut out. You have to kind of tuck it under. Yeah. And use the back of your left tricep as a reminder to continue to rotate that left thigh open. Breathe. Connect to that inhale through your nose, exhale through your nose. This is the bad side. For me too. 2 more. Unravel your top arm without any bounce. Top arm, top leg, pull you up. Warrior two. Look forward, take it to a vinyasa or right to a dog is where we'll meet. Yeah, upward facing, downward facing. Perfect. Look to the top of the mat, step or float to get there. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Bring your hands to your hips, come halfway up, come the rest of the way up. So standing at the top of the mat, take your right ankle and cross it over your left thigh. Look this. Yeah, so you make a figure 4. Bring your arms up over the top of your head, interlace your hands and press to the insteps of your wrists. Yeah, like we did before, so you're flipping your palms. The insteps of your palms press open. So the energy is like you're moving up with your torso, but moving down with the lower half of the body, because from here you'll start to sit into chair. Now, as you start to lower into chair, most likely you'll have to separate your hands and slide them somewhere. So sometimes the foot starts to fall. You'll need to like move the foot up the leg, and then you'll come down. Maybe the hands come to your hips. Maybe your torso starts to lean forward. And then ideally we're coming down here. So you're getting your left foot, your right foot to wrap around your left tricep. You could slide blocks underneath your hands. If you only have one block, place it in the center. Keep sticking your butt way back. This is getting into that hip. This is stretching the hip flexor, the IT band. This is great for hamstring. It's kind of like crouching down in this pose. So what happens for a lot of us is the right leg starts to slide off. Yeah, you might need to use your hand and kind of push the foot back a little so you can stay in the pose. There you go. Everyone's going to feel something different here. Breathe. So at the same time, slide your hands to your hips if you can. Start to pull yourself up. Try and keep it. You're going to reach down, grab your right foot and pull it into a tree pose. Bring your hands to prayer. Grip the hips in strong. If having your foot up into this tree like this, high up, doesn't work, the foot can be down low. Just create the shape. External rotation, contract the left thigh, and then grow the branches of your tree if you wish to. And if your balance gets a little funny, that's okay. Anytime we balance, we anticipate falling out. If you want to interlace your hands and try that, breathe your chest open and then look up with your eyes. Last little bit, guys, stay with me. Separate your hand to the shoulder width distance. Bend a little that left leg and wrap your right thigh around for eagle. Wrap your right arm under, only a few breaths. So wrapping into eagle from there, squeezing the arms, squeezing the legs nice and tight, challenging our balance this morning. Weight is in the standing left heel as you sit your weight all the way back. Lift your chest up. Yeah. Breathe right here. Look forward with your eyes. Release, sweep your arms out and up, look up. Gather your hands to prayer, drop your arms, let it go. We got to do the other side with excitement. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Just do this much first. So you want to, if you flex your foot, it's going to help you, because what happens is when we start to sit, the leg slides. Arms reach up, interlace the hands, and reach up. So you want to really create that energetic reach of the upper torso, and then a strong shape of the lower half of the body. So get all that together, and then start to sit like you're sitting in chair. And move slow enough that you can feel. And then obviously you're going to get to a point where you're going to have to let your hands kind of slide down and find something that works. Right. Maybe the foot starts to slide off and you have to slide it back. Fingertips can come down to the ground. But keep flexing your foot. I like wrapping the foot around the outside of that right tricep. Keep the weight in the heel. Yeah, nice work. Perfect. So here we are together in this pose. At the same time, hands come to your hips. Pull yourself up, do it slow. Focus on that standing leg and then use your left hand to bring that foot into a tree. Just do your best. If you need to restart again, that's fine. Gather the hands into prayer, grip the hips in strong, and then when you're ready, grow those branches up. Interlace the hands if it feels good. Breathe the chest open up towards the sky, kind of reach through your waist. Look up with your eyes. And then fix your eyes on something that's not moving. Keep that, separate your hand to the shoulder width distance, start to bend a little into the standing right leg and just immediately wrap into eagle, left arm, left leg. It's not going to be perfect. Keep sticking your butt out. Sometimes the foot doesn't even want to wrap all the way around. You're just crossing your legs like you're under a table. Maybe the arms are unraveling a little. They need to be in prayer. Weights in the heel. Release, sweep your arms out and up. Look up with your eyes. Sit into chair. Yeah. Sit all the way down, boat Navasana. I take boat with the hands out in front of me. Palms flat. If your arms are short, you could tent the fingertips, and I bend my legs. So reach out in front of you with your arms. There you go. Yeah, so the idea of boat is not like the sad boat. We want to lift our chest, draw the belly in, spark up our toes, and stay out of our lower spine so we can stay healthy. We look happy again. Lower halfway Ardha Navasana. I keep the hands down. Now, if having the legs at this angle doesn't feel good for the core, for the neck, the legs can be straight up and down in a 90-degree angle, but press the arms firm, the palms flat. Any angle with your legs. Breathe your shoulder blades up off the ground. You got it. Stay with it. Keep the arms down like this, the palms down. Start to bend your knees and see if you can pull back up as gracefully as you can into that version of boat. Keep the hands down. Yeah, so they're a little in front of you. Yeah, because it's going to open up the chest more. Draw the navel to the back of the spine. All right, the transition will be fun. Cross your ankles, bring your weight forward, and you'll set up for crow with that crisscross ankle. So it's going to look like this. This is as much as I've been doing. I've just been here. So your ankles are crisscrossed, but your knees are separated. And your arms are like chaturanga, and you can just stay with this. Lauren's like, I got to restart. I got to redo that again. You can also just have the feet together. This is the more traditional version. And then you set up here. Draw your belly in. So crow is an arm balance. Bring your feet together though. If you start with your feet together, then your pelvis is more grounded and neutral. Look forward with your eyes. And no one says you have to lift your feet up. That's just what they show in Yoga Journal. Majority of the world is not there. Step or float through a vinyasa. We have to be realistic. Upward facing slides you through. Hips up and back, downward facing. Keep it moving just a drop more. Glide your right foot forward. Come up to a crescent lunge. Drag your hands to prayer at heart. Inhale your breath, lean out, hook the elbow and twist. If lower back is sensitive this morning, you can always stay up high and do an air twist. Keep your right foot forward. Grip the right hip in strong. Yeah, so if you can, and I preface it that way because it's easier said than done, bring more weight forward so you're on the ball of your foot. If you're miserable here, Erica, if you're miserable, drop the knee and make it enjoyable. Right, is that better? Yeah, so who cares? So there's a little leaning back action and the crown of the head is lining up with your back heel. Grip your right hip in, activate your back leg, twist open. Look down, place both hands to the floor, drop your back knee on an angle. Good. So you're like this. We started like this. Curl your back toes into the mat. Start to walk your hands back like this. You're going to flex the foot. If you have a block, bring it with you. So now you're kind of in this high runner's lunge. Right. Take your block. This is a special pose for a special group of people. Yeah, this is a very special pose. I don't teach this that often. The block's going to go somewhere in the instep of your leg. Rachel's like, I hate you. I'm going to run you over with my car. Right. When no one's looking. Your left hand's going to come to the block. Your right hand's going to come to your sacrum. Do this much. Flex your foot. That's the pose. Now, I need you to see if you can lift your chest up and be upright. And then with your body upright, see if you can stack your arms. There you go. The more upright that you are, the better you're going to be for the safety of your body, right? Because you're using your whole body. You're not just relying on one thing. Grip your right hip in strong and twist open. Flex your right toes. Look down. Take both hands back to the floor. Rebend the leg. Curl the toes under. Plant your palms to the ground and move through a vinyasa. Just keep it simple right here. Move through a vinyasa or go to a dog. Once you get to your down dog, here we go. Left foot lands, high on the ball of your back foot, come on up, crescent lunge. Drag your hands to prayer, inhale your breath, lean out, hook the elbow and take your twist. You get here and you feel like your back leg is having difficulty holding you up. Drop your back knee down at an angle and give yourself a break. There's a little leaning back because you want the crown of the head to line up with your back heel. Activate the muscles around your back right quadricep and remind yourself you want to take the round out of your spine. Open up your arms only if you did on the other side so you can be consistent. And breathe. Two more. Look down, take both hands to the ground, pause, thank gosh. Drop your back knee on an angle. Start to walk your hands back. I like keeping my right toes curled because it's going to help you with your hamstring. Walk the hands back like you're in a runner stretch, okay? Do that much first. Then reach for your block and slide it somewhere on the inside of your left leg. Take it up mostly high. Right hand down on the block, left hand moves to your hip. Flex this foot, grip your left hip in, and then start to turn. Left hand starts on the flat part of your back, and then see if you can get really upright and start to turn your top arm open. Good. The more you flex your left foot, the more action you're gonna get. Watch that your right shoulder doesn't turn in with your body. That's why I want you to breathe your chest really high open and twist open like that. So less is more. You go where you can. Left hand down, both hands hit the floor. Crawl your hands forward, bend your leg in half, back leg activates. You're in a low lunge. Plant your palms, step to a plank. Bend your elbows in half to a chaturanga. Pull yourself through a smooth up dog, activate your legs. Hips up and back, downward facing. Slide your right knee forward into a half pigeon. We won't be here that long. We've done a bunch of hip opening, but this is just like, you need this for your soul. Yes. So go right leg first there. Yeah. For some reason, this doesn't feel good in your body, just let me know. You can listen to the words to this song. It's funny. Downward facing dog. Slide your left leg forward. Stay in it. Half pigeon. There you go. Try curling your toes into the mat. There you go. It's going to give you a little more extension through your leg. Perfect. Okay, guys, use the strength of your body. Swing your right leg around. Take your feet flat to the floor. Flip your palms forward. We're going to do reverse tabletop today. So the first one's going to be basic, and then we'll add on just a little bit. Your hands have to face you. Your feet forward. It's kind of like bridge, but it feels a little different. Inhale your breath, lift up, and then broaden the shoulders and the chest. I keep my neck neutral, but you're welcome to let your head drop back a little if that feels good. The lift from in reverse tabletop is the same as a bridge. So go from the tailbone to the backs of your knees, gather the outer triceps in, anchor your feet to the floor. Exhale the breath, lower down. So when your tailbone hits the floor, just pause here. The next one's with ankle to knee. You don't have to do it. You can just repeat. So you'll take your ankle over your knee to do it to start with. I think it's better. Flex the foot. Inhale your breath and then lift up. And get that external rotation. Yeah, and the lift may be a little less than you did when you went into the reverse tabletop. That's okay. Lower down, then remove the foot. Reset. If you need to use your hand to get your foot up there, I need to do that. Do that. And then flip the palms. Inhale your breath. Exhale, lift up. And then drop the thigh open. Lift from the tailbone to the back of your knee. Broaden the outer triceps in. Exhale your breath, lower down, remove the foot, final one. Feet go flat, regular version. Inhale your breath, lift up. Yeah, and if you want to slide your feet forward for more of the original way, where the arms go straight, legs go straight, you can. But see if you can press through the feet down, the toes towards the ground. It doesn't feel good for me, so I just stand over. You're like, that feels terrible, but that is the more traditional way. Nice, Erica. Exhale the breath, lower down. Good. Lay down on your backs. Walk your feet under you. Yeah, fingertips are going to skim the backs of the heels. Inhale your breath, lift your tailbone, gather your hands, or go to a full wheel if you feel like you're ready to do it. We're just doing one of these. A block underneath your low back, so it's either supported bridge, bridge pose, or full wheel. Flip your palms, bring your chin to your chest, take a giant breath in, and come on up if you're going for the full deal. If you're just in one of the other options, same action, legs are forward, feet are forward, thighs roll down and under, and you lift up. You may feel like you're ready to do it. No peer pressure, feet forward. Press down to lift a little higher. Nice work, Ashley. Exhale your breath wherever you are. Lower down. So the feet are on the floor. You're going to take your block, everybody. Everyone has one. If Anna's already there, you're going to lift your tailbone, slide the block underneath your lower back, interlace your hands around that block so you create the back bend. So it's like a supported bridge. And then one leg at a time, you're going to lift the legs up. Yeah, you got it. I want to finish like this because this is releasing of the lactic acid. If you can close your eyes, that's great. Jody, if you feel like the block is like a little sad and mushy, you can use my purple block to the left of you. It looks a little sad and mushy. As long as you feel okay, it's fine. Anna, can you lift your legs? Yeah, there you go, because this is going to flush out all the lactic acid. There you go. You got it. Perfect. Bend your legs in half. Take your feet flat to the floor. Remove the block out from underneath you. Slowly lower the tailbone down and just give your knees a squeeze in towards your chest. Give them a big squeeze in. Drop your knees over to the right and upper body to the left, but keep your legs together and up high so they're in line with your hips. And just do a little supine twist. It should feel good. Come up through center. Shimmy your hips a little to the right and body and legs to the left unless you went the wrong way. Good. Come up to center. Slide into a shavasana, the most valuable part of the practice. So allow yourself to just set up here. If you need to cover yourself with something, throw your phone to the other side, whatever it is. Just be quiet and be still. Let your body reap this benefit. Relax. Take a deep breath in. Follow that up with a complete exhale breath out. Bring your arms up over the top of the head. Clasp those hands one more time. Press through the insteps of the palms. Wiggle your upper body. from your hips all the way to your fingers to the back of the mat, and point your toes. Hug your knees to your chest, give them a big squeeze in. And rock up to seat and sit up nice and tall. Yeah, and just keep your eyes closed for a second before you bounce off the mat and you go on to the next. Just feel this morning's practice in your body, your breath, but mostly in your mind. Let the shoulders draw down the back. And then let the hands come to a prayer. Bow your head. Always have gratitude and closure for this practice. Be grateful we were able to move. Lift the head, open the eyes. Namaste. Awesome practice. My Zoomers did great. We're going to do this again Friday at 9:30. Hope to see you then.